Hey folks, this is Kalani. Dragonflight is right around the corner, but that isn't stopping the dev team from making some huge changes right before launch. There's a big new catch-up mechanic for reputation and renown farming. We have more information on how the new tier set catalyst will work in Dragonflight, as well as how we will earn exactly what we need to use it, and crafting orders were only tested for like a week, but they already have a massive change which will change up how and when you can create crafting orders. Many of these changes will also have a big impact on how alts play at endgame in Dragonflight, and spoiler alert, it's all fantastic news. Dragonflight is actually shaping up to be a very alt-friendly expansion with these changes in place. So let's break it all down and go over exactly what has changed and what it means for each system or feature. Now before we jump in, be sure to hit up that like button and subscribe so you never miss another video. Let's start by talking about the changes coming for the new reputation grind and the revamped renown system, because this will be absolutely huge for alts at endgame in Dragonflight. If you haven't seen this overhaul before, it's pretty simple. Reputations or factions in Dragonflight will not follow the typical friendly, honoured, revered, exalted rep grind that we've been used to. They will instead use the renown feature from Shadowlands. But before you start having some nasty Shadowlands flashbacks, let me clear some things up. You don't have to pick a rep to join or farm for, you can earn rep with all 4 factions at the same time. Renown earning is also completely different and not tied to daily or weekly limits. This is not Covenants, this is not Shadowlands Renown. Forget everything you know about Shadowlands Renown because it really isn't the same thing. For Dragonflight, you can earn reputation from a variety of sources: story quests, side quests, world quests, special turn-ins, special mini-games, the usual kind of activities. For every 2,500 reputation you earn, you will gain 1 renown with that reputation. Every renown you earn will unlock new rewards in your renown track. Some factions cap out at 25 renown, others go up to 30 renown. As you get more rep and more renown, you can earn new cosmetic options, new gearing options, minigames relating to the faction, new world quests, and a lot of profession recipes. There's a lot packed into these reps, but most of it is not tied to player power, so it's very much an optional thing. So that's renown and reputations in a nutshell for Dragonflight, which leads us quite nicely into the actual change. In the most recent beta build, a new reward was added in for every faction at Renown 10 and Renown 20. At Renown 10, you can earn the Word of a Worthy Ally 1 unlock. This will increase your other character's rep gains with that faction by 100%, so fully double the rep gains while they are below Renown level 10. This is available for every faction, so if you get to Renown 10 with every faction, every other character across your entire account will have double rep gains with everyone up until that Renown 10 mark. That's going to make getting caught up with renown on your ults so much easier and faster, and will make it quite valuable to focus on one character first to unlock those speed up bonuses. But there's another one available later on at Renown 20. Word of a Worthy Ally 2 gives you the same bonus, 100% additional rep gains for that faction up until Renown 20, but it also gives you an additional bonus below Renown 10. So you get 200% on any character that is below Renown 10, and then 100% on any character for Renown 11 to 20. And then you have to get the rest of any renown you want the normal way by the looks of things. This is a really nice way of doing it and helping to speed up any repeat endeavors for these new Dragonflight factions. Maybe in the future, if extra renown levels are added in, we'll see more of these buffs along the renown track to help keep you up to date or catch up if you return to the game later on. Imagine if these tracks get bumped up to Renown 50 later on. We can see another buff at Renown 30 and then another one at Renown 40. We have no idea if these Renown tracks will be extended or expanded upon in future patches, but it seems like an easy way to introduce more rewards into the game while keeping the various factions of Dragonflight somewhat relevant. Now, something that a lot of players don't seem to know already is that the vast majority of the renown system and the rewards on offer are actually account-wide already. As you go through the renown reward tracks, most items say they unlock for your entire account, so this includes things like the extra world quests, unlocking special scenarios, being able to find specific treasures for each faction, new cosmetic items and effects, including dragon riding dragon customization options, faction-related special story quests, almost all of it will unlock for your entire account just by completing the renown requirements once. The only things that are not account-wide rewards are the gear rewards, or the ability to purchase new gear rewards, access to profession recipes, and the renown levels themselves. So if you get to renown 20 on one character and then you want to swap to a different one, you start back down at renown 1, even though most rewards have already been unlocked. So it would be more advantageous to you to finish the renown track on one character. That way everyone has access to all of the cosmetic stuff, and if you really want the gear rewards or profession recipes, you'll get those big catch-up buffs to help you smash through the rep requirements. So, no matter how you look at it or what you want from the reputation rewards in Dragonflight, it's much more ult-friendly this time around in every way possible, which is fantastic to see. Moving on, the other big change for endgame progression this week comes to the Creation Catalyst. Oh, I guess we should be calling it the Inspiration Catalyst. That's what it's going to be called in Dragonflight, but it will largely be the exact same thing. You can turn non-tier set gear into tier set gear and get those bonuses. We're still not 100% clear on the restrictions this time around and which types of gear can be turned into tier gear, because we have a lot more variety at endgame when compared to Shadowlands. We have outdoor world content gear sets, outdoor PvP gear sets, normal PvP gear sets, rated PvP gear sets, mythic plus dungeon gear, and of course raid gear. Most of that can probably be turned into tier gear using the catalyst, but one question remains: what exactly do we need to use the catalyst in Dragonflight? In Shadowlands, we needed a charge, which accumulated over time, as well as a good chunk of the Cosmic Flux currency, so even if you had plenty of charges, you would still need to do some farming for Cosmic Flux on any character you wanted to use the catalyst on. Those requirements are going to change in Dragonflight. We still need the charge, but it will not accumulate passively over time. We will have to actively complete a weekly quest to obtain a charge to use. So you will have to be actively playing the game to earn your charges this time around, so it's a little bit more legwork to get your charges. On the flip side, there will be no new currency to earn or farm that will be needed in the catalyst, so all you need is that charge, which means the weekly quest is going to be very important. We don't have solid info on exactly what the quest will entail just yet, but the dev team did say this. When the Catalyst becomes available in Dragonflight Season 1, there will not be a new currency. Instead, there will be a weekly quest that simply requires doing the same sorts of group content that provides you with Catalyst-eligible gear in the first place. Notably, all characters on your WoW account can contribute towards progress completing this quest. Completing the quest awards one charge to all current and future characters on your WoW account, and each of your characters can spend charges individually. So, if you've done the quest 3 times and used 3 charges on your main character, a new ult that reaches level 70 will have 3 charges of their own available. That sounds awesome, so both quest progress and quest rewards for the charges are account-wide. Charges are per character too, so you can use them as often as you want without worrying about taking away from a different character. That's great too. I honestly don't see any holes with this approach. With it being a weekly quest, that also tells us that we should get at least 1 charge per week after the catalyst opens up, so we even have an idea of the pacing of charges. The quest will also probably end up being a multiple choice completion, like complete 5 dungeons or kill 5 raid bosses or earn a certain amount of honor. It will probably line up quite well with the weekly vault in Dragonflight 2, giving you even more reason to run different types of content. With no currency being involved, that also means you don't really have to play your ults at all to take advantage of your catalyst charges, which makes the system as a whole even more ult friendly. The Inspiration Catalyst is shaping up to be a good upgrade over the Creation Catalyst so far. And then the last major change I wanted to talk about in this video comes through for the crafting order system. This change is very simple, but will have quite a lot of knock-on effects, I would think. Previously, when creating a crafting order, you could decide how many materials or reagents to provide alongside your commission. This allowed you to basically ask a crafter to craft something for you without actually providing anything at all, hoping that the pure gold commission would cover everything. That honestly would have been a bit of a mess and would make it very time-consuming for a crafter to figure out if a commission and craft would be worthwhile. Well, throw that all out the window because Blizzard have made a big change to the system as a whole. Now when you start a crafting order, you have to provide all of the materials required for that craft. You can still omit optional secondary stuff like missives to decide on your stats or upgrade items for item levels, but the raw base materials for a craft, you have to provide all of that now. This is actually way better in my opinion. Not only does it prevent that previous issue of having to figure out commission price versus the material cost, but it also just streamlines the entire process and brings the auction house into the fold in a really neat way. So with these changes in place, you would have to go to the auction house to buy your materials or just farm them up yourself, and then take all of those mats over to the crafting order NPCs to place your order, toss in a commission, and hope a crafter takes your order. Over on the crafter side, it's going to be even easier now. Every crafting order will now provide the required materials to actually complete the craft, so the only limiting factors for you as a crafter are 1. Do you have that recipe and can you craft it? And 2. Do you have any of the optional reagents that the order requires to be finished? Outside of that, the only thing left to look at is the commission, which should be pure profit. Is this gold price worth your time and effort to complete that order? For the most part, it probably will be. It's almost free gold after all, so I'm interested to see how this pans out. It sounds better and provides a much smoother experience overall, especially for the crafter, but that does mean you always have to get your materials yourself before making a crafting order. So it's maybe less convenient for the buyers or order placers, but I think it's going to be a good change overall. Now perhaps the most important part of this change is that it's only actually enforced for public orders. For guild orders or private orders, you can still provide minimal or even no materials for a craft. That makes a lot of sense because those are typically the kinds of orders with more trust behind them, but for the wide wild west of the public order board, there's no trust to be seen, so you have to provide all of your materials up front. And then just because this video is the next one to be made right after these updates, it's also worth pointing out that the PTR is now fully up to date with the beta builds, and the beta build is now also a release candidate. So we're pretty much done. That's the testing cycle more or less over. This is what the game will be when the game goes live. We will probably see a lot of hotfixes between now and November 28th, but the game as a whole is all in place. I wouldn't expect any massive changes to key systems or features, though the dev team might surprise us. They have been listening and iterating quite quickly for once, which has been quite a surprise. So if there's a huge issue before launch, maybe it will actually get addressed this time. Either way, the Dragonflight expansion is right around the corner, and it actually looks to be ready to go with a little bit of time to spare. All that's left to do is wait a few more weeks, enjoy that pre-patch event, and then we'll get into Dragonflight for the real adventure. I am incredibly excited, and I hope you are too. But those are the big changes to endgame, which will make playing alts so much easier and more enjoyable. What do you think of the changes to the catalyst system and having to earn your charges? Is that worth the trade-off of there being no currency this time around? And how do you feel about account-wide catch-ups for the renown system? Leave all your thoughts in the comment section below. A big thank you to all of our supporters over on Patreon and to all of our members here on YouTube. You can see the names floating by on screen. If you'd like to add your name to the end of every video with a special shout out at the start of the next video, you can find links in the description over to Patreon or click the join button just below this video. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you never miss another video. Thanks for watching folks, good luck and have fun, and as always I'll see you next time.